guys in the past that, and everyone says Russell Wilson, but also Tom Brady in the sense that, not stylistically, but in the sense that Dak has basically been a game manager who's big on third down and plays well under pressure and is a good leader in the clubhouse. Like, that is a really valuable thing. Game manager is not an insult, especially if you're big on third down and you play in the playoffs. He almost brought him all the way back on Aaron Rodgers. Only a miracle throw from Aaron Rodgers when he only until Patrick Mahomes came along was Aaron Rodgers capable of making even that play, stopped the Cowboys from advancing because Dak never gave up hope. So I love me some Dak Prescott. And eventually he may be a truly great quarterback. That time is not yet. And if you're going to tell me I got to pay him $36 million a year, I ain't doing it. I like him better than Goff. Goff has more talent, but I'd rather have Dak as my quarterback. He has more stuff. Carson Wentz is another story. I'm going to put Carson Wentz aside. I think he's better than both those guys. But, injuries notwithstanding. But Dak I like a lot. I think eventually he'll be elite. But if you overpay him now, Key, you won't put a good enough team around him to win. He's not there yet.
But I love that argument when people start to say, you pay the quarterback, you can't surround other people around him. The New England Patriots continue to surround Tom Brady with talent.
He takes discounts.
He's not taking a discount. Everybody go, oh, he's taking a discount. Well, he's being paid the type of money that he wants. They're not using that money on other players that they supposedly are saving. Whoever the New England Patriots paid that has helped Tom Brady out from an offensive standpoint, they're not giving big money to offensive players.
But Key, there's a certain amount of money you can spend on your roster. The Patriots spend that money. So to your point earlier, it's the ultimate team sport. There's so many different places you need to spend the money that Belichick does a great job of that because Brady works with him.
It's all about the front office and the talent evaluating. If you can evaluate talent, you can find guys that have value that can help your team and make the 53-man roster. The argument is always if you pay the quarterback, it's going to ruin everybody else. Just look at the Seattle Seahawks. I'm like, wait a minute. Seattle was getting old when they decided to pay Russell Wilson. They didn't want to pay those older guys.
But that's not where Russell was then.
Yeah, but look at this, man. You've got to pay this man. And as you talked about, Key, you said evaluate talent. That's the key word. Dak Prescott is a winner. He's a leader in the locker room. And there's a value on a guy who's going to make the correct play. He's not going to chuck up an interception downfield on third down or second down trying to get numbers. He's going to take the dump off. He's going to make the play go through his reads in the offense. Here's the reality. You got guys, and I don't want to call out other contracts, but you got $100 million players. Stafford, Carr, Cousins, Garoppolo.
How's that work out?
Hey, look, Ryan, you said you didn't want to.
How do you not pay a winner?
Wait, you said you didn't want to call out names. You just rattled off a bunch of dudes.
Half the NFL.
Half the NFL.
I'm glad they got their money.
In all honesty, when you look at it, Dak Prescott deserves to be paid. Okay, pecking order goes for me. Taking care of my quarterback, taking care of the wide receiver, not necessarily worried about Zeke Elliott right now, taking care of Smith, the linebacker. Those are the kind of three guys for me that they need to address to move on to the next level. When you look statistically at Dak Prescott, what is it that hasn't done that those other guys that we mentioned have done? I mean,
but a lot of those guys that we mentioned those are loser contracts. Like they shouldn't have paid Stafford, they shouldn't have paid Cousins. Who else did you mention?
Who else are you going to pay?
But the point is, Garoppolo is maybe a different story because the Patriots
why is he a different story? The guy took 4 snaps.
Because once they have the Belichick seal of approval, they have more value around the league, whether or not that works.
I can't go off of that because Belichick.
Let's not thank you for the super chat.
Hold on. I agree with you about Dak in this case, Ryan, in this sense. Dak doesn't mess up by throwing interceptions. The criticism of him is really, if you look at the play, you look at it and say, well, he left bigger plays on the field. I could deal with that in a quarterback as he gains experience. But my point is, I'd like to keep him. Not at 36 a year. The Stafford contract's killing the Lions.
Here's the truth, though. When Zeke missed games, he didn't prove himself. They tried to run everything through Dak, and it didn't work out. When Zeke came back, they start winning. They got Amari Cooper in line. And the reality is, you don't fire Scott Linehan if you're not committing to Dak Prescott, saying there was something wrong. They didn't get him out the pocket. They didn't put him in positions where he could be successful.
You got to work out a deal with Dak where he's not the highest paid guy because he's not as good as that.
He's the quarterback.
He doesn't have to be the highest paid guy.
You know what? I've heard enough of that. You know what? James Easley, thank you for the super chat. Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy, Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business. And guys, I got to tell you, my football gods, oh my God. Let's get the football gods lit. And this is special, guys. Understand, the football gods have been touched by two of the gods. Randy White's signature and Tony Dorsett's signature there. I should have had drum roll, but let's light them up. Boom. Are you ready for this, guys? I am so sick and tired of all of the bull crap that goes on when it comes to my Dallas Cowboys. I mean, seriously. You can look at all of the stuff that goes. First of all, I love how Max Ketterman says, you know, I love me some Dak Prescott, right? It's kind of like one of those things when somebody says to you, I mean no offense, but they go on and they offend you. We're talking about this guy. This guy is a football expert. Well, I guess he ain't a rap expert, though, is he? Now, I want you to think about something, because I've been just thinking and trying to understand. When we get all of these... Kenny Gibson, thank you very much for the super chat. When we get all of these rapper wannabes that want to talk about football and everything else, I started thinking about it. If you're Max, I want to be a rapper, Kellerman, or if you're Jabba the Hutt, Whitlock, or if you're Marcellus, Get a Clue, Wiley, are you really trying to give the Dallas Cowboys help? I mean, is your goal to go ahead and say, you know what, Cowboys, we want to see you win. We want you to do well. So here's what we think you should do to be successful. Do we really think that Jason Whitlock wants to see the Cowboys win? Do we want to think that Max, wannabe rapper, wants to see the Dallas Cowboys win? No. They hate the Cowboys. What they're trying to do is, one, get clicks and get paid, because there's no such thing as bad press. You can look like an idiot, which a lot of these do. And as long as people are clicking, that's all they care about. ESPN went through, they got rid of the people who actually know football. Because they're not pretty. They're not out here fighting and being stupid. And they end up having all these personalities that basically get out there and tell all these other fan bases what they want to hear. The Cowboys suck. They're making mistakes and everything else. It's bullcrap. And we're falling for the bait because we listen to, or excuse me, not me. I listen to them to try and prove to you the bullcrap that you're getting. But a lot of people listen to the crap that they get from these guys and think that it's real. They take it as it's the gospel. They know what they're talking about. You're not credible. You're an idiot. Because these are the same people that said at 3-5, blow up the team. Scrap it. Get over. You know, the Cowboys are done. Stick a foreskin in them. The season is over. Really? These are the same guys that were like, Dak Prescott, he's not even good enough to be a backup quarterback. So I'm just kind of sick and tired because, see, you know, it's one thing to get these people out here who hate the Cowboys that are trying to divide us and things like that. It's bad enough to hear that. But when you get supposed Dallas Cowboy fans, now understand, I am a glass half full guy. not only am I half glass full, happy that I got a glass that's half full, I'm happy that I got a glass. Because it could be, I ain't got a glass, I ain't got nothing to drink, I ain't got shit. I will look for the positives in life, and I will go ahead and put positives out in the universe, because I believe if you can't believe that something's going to happen, then it won't. So you first have to believe it. And if you look, the way they have dissected every aspect of Dak Prescott's game, there's no quarterback out there that has a 100% completion rate. There's no quarterback out there that never throws an interception. There's no quarterback out there that never fumbles. There's no quarterback that wins every single game. There's no quarterback that has every single pass that is dead on between the numbers. And if you go ahead and dissect it, I guarantee you can find 20 plays easily on any quarterback that make them look like garbage. And that's what they do. Oh, look at this. Even though he hit this guy, we got the first down, we won the game. Well, you know what? He could have had a bigger play over here. Okay. But didn't we win the game? Didn't we win the game? And the other problem is fantasy football has screwed it up, because your only mark is, well, Big Ben, he's a fantasy, stud. Did he make the playoffs? Did he? And in reality, here's the amazing thing, because you don't really dig very deep in here. Big Ben threw the ball 182 times more than Dak Prescott did last year. Do you know how much more his completion rate was? 0.2 of a yard more than Dak. That's it. That's it. And when you listen to guys like Pro Football Focus that talk about the quarterback and say, well, you know what? His going down the field percentage, this and that. Hold on. Let's back up. Let's back the hell up. Let's take a look at some of the weapons that other teams have. Because I had an idiot go through here and said, you know what? Email me. So I'm literally in those people's heads to the point where they have to email me. It's not enough to put a comment on here. They feel the need to email me one-on-one. They're actually taking their time. I love that. I love it. Okay? That they think I've got that much power. So keep it up, guys. Keep the hate up. They tell me, stop lying to Cowboys Nation, because guys like Jameis Winston and Jimmy Garoppolo are better quarterbacks. What has Jameis Winston done? Besides cop a feel on an Uber driver? He had Deshaun Jackson last year to throw to, and Mike Evans. You compare those to the receivers we had before Amari Cooper? Do you? How about Matty Ice? Because somebody did a video that Matty Ice, he was undervalued at this year. You look at who he's throwing to? Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, Calvin Ridley. How do they compare with the guys we got? Oh, Big Ben, Juju Schuster, Antonio Brown. And this whole thing of Max wannabe rapper who talks about Bill Belichick. Let me see. I'm sorry, I don't have these things in orderable. But okay, here we go. Let's talk about the Bill Belichick stamp of approval. Here's the thing that's amazing about Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, whenever he has a quarterback start from the first game, they always win that first game. They always do. He is great at taking guys to the first game, calming them down, and getting a win. Let's take a look at all of these great quarterbacks that have left Bill Belichick and what they've done. We have Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, as Max put, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's on a different level. Is he? Is he? Let's look at these stats for Jimmy Garoppolo. His whole career, L4G Custom Fabrication. Thank you very much. His whole career is 2,968 yards. That's not even what Dak Prescott's done in one season. He's got 17 touchdown passes and 8 interceptions. And by the way, most of that stuff was done in New England. Because when you look at what he's done in San Francisco, not a whole lot. 12 TDs and 8 interceptions. 12 TDs, 8 interceptions. It's not exactly lighting up the scoreboard. Yet, they're telling you that that guy is incredible. That guy deserved to get the contract and to be the highest paid player in the NFL for a moment. But yet they're telling you that Dak Prescott, who, if everything is true about the quarterback, that you either win or lose because of the quarterback. Because that's what they tell you. If you don't have a good quarterback, you don't win. Well, then how come with Dak Prescott, we've won 32 games, which is second only to New England Patriots? You can call him a bus driver. But you know what? If he's driving the bus, you're going to arrive there alive. You're going to get there on time with room to spare. I'm sick of this whole hate thing. He's leaving stuff on the field. He's inaccurate. Do you think we might have been handicapped a little bit by Scott Linehan? When you see coaches like Miami's coach who didn't bust a grape immediately get a job with the Jets, when you see Chip Kelly dismantle the Eagles and immediately get a job with the 49ers, this is like the good old boy network where everybody always gets a job. How come Scott Linehan ain't got a job someplace? You mean one of these desperate teams out there didn't look at that guy and say, you know what? Let's get him because he's a winner. He knows he won games with that crappy quarterback, Dak Prescott. Right? Come on, man. Come on. Let's go back through the Bill Belichick list of quarterbacks. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Wrong list. Okay, wait. Garoppolo. I'm sorry. I am missing it.
One of them went to the Colts and snuck up the joint.
Well, they all have.
I forgot the brother's name, but he went.
I've lost it. It literally. Well, we can get rid of Max. We definitely don't want to see that anymore. Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the list. Excuse me. Okay. So, then we have Jacoby Brissett, who, again, after Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt when Tom Brady was on a suspension, notice the pattern here. He got hurt with New England. Then he got hurt in San Francisco. In between, he dated a porn star, Jacoby Brissett. He's winning Super Bowls right now, isn't he? Right? Ryan Mallett. Yeah, he's doing great things. Brian Hoyer. Another great one. We had Matt Castle. He had one good year in Kansas City, but we saw him here in Dallas, didn't he? Yeah. Okay, so if the Cowboys had so much talent and we had a quarterback that Bill Belichick taught, we should have been lighting things up. Now, here's the thing that's interesting. Here's what's really, really crazy. Because we're told that the only reason that Dak Prescott is any good is because of our running game. Because of Zeke Elliott. Dak is only good because of Zeke and the offensive line. Anybody could run this offense. Because I had an idiot say, you know what? If we don't pay Dak Prescott and let him walk, we pay everybody else, and we'll have a great team because it'll be the next man up. It won't be that much of a drop-off. Now, here's what's really great. Here's what's great, Max. You say the Bill Belichick stamp of approval. Matt Castle had it, right? He was here in Dallas. And that was when the offensive line was still really good. You didn't miss Travis Frederick because he was out because of a syndrome. You didn't have Zach Martin on one leg. You didn't have Tyron Smith missing a bunch of games. Okay? Right? You still had Doug Free at tackle. Would you believe that in 2015, with Zeke Elliott, we only rushed for 50 yards more than we did in 2015? We had a great running attack. The same as we've had this year. Yet, Matt Castle, Kellen Moore, and Brandon Wheaton, I guess they can't drive a bus. Because they got one freaking win. One. with a great running attack. Okay, let's keep on going. Drew Bledsoe, I'll give you Drew Bledsoe, but Drew Bledsoe was a veteran before Bill Belichick got there, and he had Bill Parcells as a coach as opposed to Scott Linehan. So this notion of Bill Belichick having great quarterbacks isn't going to be great, or Jimmy Garoppolo, who has literally less than 3,000 yards. This whole thing that you need to see more about Dak. Why is it you need to see more about Dak Prescott, but you didn't need to see more about Jimmy Garoppolo before you made him highest paid one? Shout out to you, James, Joseph and James. I'm sorry. I'm just. Forgive me tonight. Forgive me tonight. I'm just kind of pissed. So, then he talks about Carson Wentz being on another level. Carson Wentz, he's on another level than Dak Prescott. But if you go through, if you believe all of the rankings that you get right now, they'll tell you the Eagles have the best offensive line in football. The Cowboys' offensive line, not what it used to be. Only 2 of their big guns were left last year. They'll tell you they got great wide receivers. In 2017, they had the third best rushing attack in football. So this whole notion of a quarterback has to have people around them, it seemed like Carson Wentz had some people around him, didn't he? I mean, do you honestly think if you took Carson Wentz from Philadelphia and brought him here to Dallas that he would have had the same results? And vice versa? Right? Hell no, I wouldn't trade Dak for Wentz. No. Victor, here's the thing. And when I put out the video earlier today, I prefaced it with, it came from Mike Farello. Mike Farello is the same guy who started Junebug. Thank you very much for the super chat sticker. Is the same guy who came out and said, there's a video out there of Dez Bryant that could be 10 times worse than, what's his name? Damn, from the Ravens. Ray Rice, which was bull. We've also heard rumors before that Tony Romo was going to get traded to the Redskins and Kirk Cousins was going to get traded to the 49ers. So I said, I'm telling you this, I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't heard it from Zeke. And I think if Zeke were going to do that, he would kind of like say that to the team. So it would, start trying to work on something. Kind of like Russell Wilson did, where basically he put the gun to the head and said, if you don't have a contract by the 15th, I ain't never signed anything. DeMarcus Lawrence, I'm not getting soldier surgery. So that seems to get their attention, but I don't know. I don't know. So we'll leave that. But here's with Carson Wentz, because we think about what they had in personnel-wise. And I don't know if Philly 500 is still here or not, but Philly 500, which is where you guys are going to be. Why is it your quarterback only had 5 wins last year with all that talent that he had? Because clearly it's the quarterback that does everything, right? He had talent. The only team with a winning record your quarterback won was against the Colts when the Colts were going 2 out of 6 games. The frickin' Jets beat them by 42. 2 of your wins were against the Giants. Yeah, those guys, they suck. Against the Redskins and Jacksonville. That's it. That's the list. Overrated. I mean, overrated. And he can't stay healthy. Now, before I go any further, let me give hats off to the newlyweds. Told you guys.
Yes, sir.
I told you, didn't I? I told you. Congratulations. Look, one more time. She married a wolf hunter. Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. You know what it is, 5-5.
So congratulations, to Leighton Vander Esch on getting married. So that is fantastic. All right. So then we get to DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence, he tweeted out because he's pissed. He is pissed because of his Madden ranking. What? What? Mike's over here. He's pointing to me. What, Mike? What?
He wants to beat Michael Strahan's single season.
Well, you know what? And that's good. Yeah.
22.5.
And so,
That's the record.
right. And one of those really Brett Favre just gave him.
Yeah,
Brett
I
Favre
saw
just
all
basically
over.
farted and fell on the ground. So Madden ranks his rating, and I don't do Madden, okay? Understand, I'm an old fart. I don't do Madden and things, okay? But they ranked him 89th. All I know is Brandon Graham, who's a good player with the Eagles, in his 9th season has never had double-digit sacks. Never. He had 4 last year and 39 tackles compared to DeMarcus Lawrence's 10.5 sacks and 70-some tackles. How do you have those two guys on the same level? How? How? It's some bullcrap. No respect. No respect. All right, you know what? I'm losing it here. I need some comedy here for a second. You know that? Let's think about something for a second here, because it could be worse. We could be the New York stinking Giants who haven't signed their future quarterback yet, and he's now been hexed by Joe Boo.
Well, hello, friends. Cowboy Joe Boo here with the Joe Boo Sports Report, and we are here live in Chantilly, Virginia, and we are here with the governor. The governor is right up there, the greatest new piece to the Great Wall of Dallas. And over here, coming up soon, the replacement for Eli Manning. Blah, Daniel Jones. Anyway, we're going to wait here to get up. There he is, the New York stinking Giants quarterback. Okay, let's get the governor. Hey, Giant fans. Hey, friends. Cowboy Joe Boo here with the Joe Boo Sports Report. And here we are. Look, okay. You know, we've got twins in the house. You notice, believe it or not, they're New York Giant fans, but...
Huh? I'm a Chicago Bear fan.
A Bear fan.
Twins update. Week 5, Prescott might have an injury.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, if you notice, we're in Daniel Jones's line. I ask you, do you see anybody wearing New York Giant gear?
Hey, that's a New York Giants fan. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, Daniel Jones. Okay, so you guys know we've met Eli Manning. You remember that good old time? Salsa dancing, and he stopped salsa dancing? We're here with Daniel Jones, all you Giant fans. Spreading some bad mojo. Okay. So, Michael Anthony Fitness is doing a favor
Play by play.
for his buddy Rashid.
Don't look at him.
That's where you want to see the future quarterback.
How you doing, Mr. Jones?
Don't look at him. That's the movement thing.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for the autograph. All right, friends, that's it.
Yeah, he didn't like seeing Joe Boo too much there. Super chat from Lieutenant Mathers, one of our Eagle fans, man. It's been a long, long time, but welcome back. Oh my goodness, we got some, all kinds of people from the past here, but that's the kind of stuff that we get. And like I said, maybe I'm crazy, maybe all this stuff is a coincidence. But here we have, Zeke Elliott. We don't know if Zeke is going to, at least Mark finally addressed the Cowboys in the video about not signing Dak. Okay, Big D, I'm not sure what I did. Did I? Okay. Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott gets suspended by the NFL for domestic violence. There's no tape. It was his word against hers. There was all kinds of evidence that kind of said, kind of shady. The NFL's own investigator said, maybe there's not really that much there. And he gets suspended for 6 games, right? And then we go through sweating out all summer long. You know, like me, we're like, oh shit, Zeke Elliott's gonna get suspended. He shouldn't have hit that guy. And now you get the guy, of course, wanting to go ahead and sue, basically get him charged. He wants his pound of flesh, right? Because the NFL, they don't want to have violence out there, right? I can understand that. It looks bad for the NFL. Let me bring up this clip. Nope. Wrong one. Nope. Oh, did I lose it? Nope. Wrong one. Up. Did I lose? Oh, I'm sorry. I got to load this back up. Man, I got so messed up. But here we go. I want you to look at this. Take a good look. Take a good look at this. The guy in the red is a Washington Redskin player, Montre Nicholson.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Does that look like he's fighting? Does that look like he's doing something? Because to me, that looked like he's whipping somebody's behind. Did anybody hear about him being suspended? Because Ashburn police said there wasn't enough evidence to make a charge. Yesterday, while we were worried about this fool going through and trying to get Zeke Elliott charged, a New York Giants safety, Moore, got arrested for domestic violence. He knocked a woman out. He stepped on her throat. He kicked her. Where's the coverage of that? Oh, Ed. See, I see Ed Oliver in the house. Ed, we're going to be down there on the 27th on Michael's birthday to bring some bad mojo to the Redskins. So shout out to you and the Redskins. Don't worry, Joe Boo's coming for you. So you see Montre Nicholson there, kick this dude's butt. His girlfriend even hit a woman upside the head with a bottle. You had Reuben Foster, who was arrested how many times for domestic violence? And all they did was, well, you can still play. We'll just take 2 game checks. Now, he did mess up his knee, so he's out. I don't know. Maybe that's karma coming back. I don't know. But I'm just saying, you see that, and you say, well, wait a minute. The fuck? How is that possible? Miss Anita, oh, man. Okay, everybody. Anita Taylor, how are you doing tonight? I know this is some rough times. Miss Anita lost her father unexpectedly, so everybody keep Miss Anita in thoughts and prayers and things. Life is short and unexpected, so you want to make the most of every day. I always try and fit in as much as I can every day, and people are like, you need to slow down, relax. It's like, nah, I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. So I want to make sure that I can do everything today that I can to try and make the world a better place. And that's my goal. And I always try and make sure everybody knows how I feel about them. So I tell my son, my wife, I text my daughter every day, since she's been out in California, I send her a text message. just to let her know, hey, baby, how you doing? Miss you, love you, and all that. So shout out. And I am happy also to report that you guys know I've been talking about Joseph Heatherly. Joseph is, and I may have talked about it earlier today, but Joseph is one of the great fans that we have in here. He's done a lot to help out the channel. He's sent me all kinds of memorabilia and things, including the football gods, but he had been missing in action. He had basically gone ghost over about the last 6 weeks or so. And I know when Joseph's not in here, it's because his wife's not doing real well. And so, you know, I've been reaching out to him over and over and over again, hoping that everything's okay and hoping to hear from him. And I finally did hear from him today. And his wife was doing really, really bad, but she's doing better now. So, you know, everybody that's in here, I guarantee you've got somebody that you really care about, or a lot of somebody. So make sure, if you can, give them a hug, tell them you love them and everything else, and try and be there and enjoy each and every day with them, okay? Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough when you lose somebody, and it's like you don't really know what to say because there's nothing you can really say, but, you know, my condolences to you. Ooh, sports are all scripted, rigged, manipulated by society and Satan's. Okay, well, so we get Zeke Elliott suspended, and like I said, we don't know if Zeke is actually going to hold out. If he is, it's the quietest holdout that we've ever heard. I guess he just won't show up for the training camp beginning next week, because they'll be there beginning next week to do their physicals and the paperwork and stuff before they actually go to Oxnard. So you get that kind of situation. So you look at Zeke, and it's kind of like we've been sweating bullets about the flipper. And here we have dudes doing WWE. The only thing he didn't pull out was, you know, the fold-up chair and knock the guy upside the head. And you get nothing there. And then you hear Rico Gathers. He gets suspended for a $50 fine of having some marijuana products in his car, right? But I don't know if you guys remember this last year. Do you guys remember this?
Trying to get you to sleep with
Odell Beckham? I'm just sitting here thinking that this video was out there.
trying to get you to sleep.
He's got, I don't know, it's some kind of a sick, something. And I know she was chopping something. I mean, maybe it's some baking soda. Was there an investigation on this?
You to sleep with.
He gets the benefit of the doubt. A guy who's done a lot of questionable things.
You to sleep with.
Is it me on this? Right? But we have Randy Gregory, who's in the program, who gets tested on a weekly basis, that gets tested on a weekly basis. He's only, and in retrospect, he's only failed 10 tests over 4 years. Because here's where you get other stuff. Oh, there it is right there. You have Chris Long. Chris Long.
So curious, you've been out in
Said
front
this.
of medical marijuana for use by football players. I can't help but think of Ricky Williams if he was playing in today's game, Chris, because back then he just said, look, I want to have marijuana. I need it. Now we're looking at allowing players to do it. Where are we headed?
Well, we should be headed to a place where we allow players to enjoy what I would, not even call a drug.
Enjoy.
It's far less dangerous than guzzling a fist of alcohol and going out after a game. Chances are the player won't even make it to the club to do this sort of thing that we all kind of wag our finger at when we hear about a guy getting in a fight or DUI. We're never going to read about him sitting on the couch and binge watching Game of Thrones again. So I think from a standpoint of what's safer for people and the player, certainly people in the spotlight. It is, it is far less harmful than alcohol. It is far less harmful than tobacco. And at various points in the league's history, they have engaged in partnerships on different levels with, those respective industries. So I think that, I'm not a dry snitch. I'm not going to put a percentage on how much the league smokes, but I certainly enjoyed my fair share on a regular basis through my career. So, and I was never afraid to.
Wait. Okay, so John Jones, thank you for the super chat. So wait. You're hearing this, right? This is the NFL Man of the Year who's basically saying, you know what? All you do is make sure you're clean for that one test. So let's listen to the rest of this.
Say that, but I'm able to say it more explicitly now. I mean, listen, if not for that, I'm not as capable of coping with the stressors of day-to-day NFL life. A lot of guys get a lot of pain management out of it.
But what about testing, though, Chris?
Toradol did more pain management for me. I think the testing is arbitrary. The league, speaking plainly, knows damn well what they're doing. I mean, testing players once a year for street drugs, which is a terrible classification for, marijuana, is kind of silly because, players know when the test is. We can stop. And in that month or two that you stop, you're going to reach for the sleeping pills. You're going to reach for the painkillers. You're going to reach for, the bottle a little bit more. On the weekend, you're going to have a few more drinks, and a few turns into a few too many. And, it's just not the same. And if you're serious about players not smoking, you'd be testing more often. I hope they go the opposite direction and just kind of realize how arbitrary doing that one test a year is.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into audio.
Okay, so thank you, Dan Patrick Show, for that audio. I don't know if he was expecting to have exactly that. So here's the thing. So understand. I'm trying to understand here, and maybe somebody can clarify it to me, because here's the thing: if your idea is we're trying to keep drugs out, your Man of the Year is saying what you're doing is a joke. We all know when it's going to be. We're smoking. He says, I've smoked my fair share. I smoked my fair share of it, right? If he's saying that, then if it's your ultimate goal is to keep it out, then why is it that it only seems like it's the Cowboy players that are getting hit with it? I look at Randy Gregory. I want you to think about Montre Nicholson over there beating the crap out of somebody in a drunken stupor. You're good to play. It's cool. No problem. Randy Gregory, have you ever seen Randy Gregory on any police reports? Driving while high, domestic violence, anything like that? Yet, he's getting banned from the NFL for years. Is there something wrong? Am I missing something? Am I missing something here? Because I don't get it. I'm just trying to understand it. And there's Odell Beckham. You see him. Does he sound like he's sober to you? He's got something in his hand, and they got a person there chopping up some baking soda. Shouldn't he be questioned or asked about trying to get you to sleep with? Shouldn't there be a question there? But no. It's okay. Nothing. The Giant player, arrested for domestic violence. The team did the right thing. They suspended him because they had the kicker who kept a diary about the abuse he did on his wife. So they know, well, we got it. And he's not that big a name of a player. So we'll skip. There's Joseph Heatherly. What's happening, Joseph? I was just talking about you. Your ears must have been burning because we were thanking you because of those football gods up here. This is my prized possession up here, okay? All right? And Michael is already, I tell you what, Michael was eyeing that thing yesterday when it was getting signed because I know he was saying, you know what? When Pop goes, that's mine. he might have even been going, you know what? I might off him just to get that. You wouldn't off me, Michael. You're not going to.
Spending the rest of my life in jail is not worth it.
You know, they can get sneaky now. You know, you could put a little extra hot sauce in the hot sauce, and I just kind of choke.
No, I'm not for the rest of my life in jail.
Okay. Joseph, man, everybody, yeah, definitely. I want to actually, while we're here with Joseph and things, I want to read something else. Because, see, understand, this is a Dallas Cowboy channel, okay? I am, you know, I'm all about the Cowboys. You can see my house. It's full of Cowboy stuff. You see every day I'm representing the star. You know I talk too damn much about the Cowboys. You know, I drive my wife crazy about football and the Cowboys. Even though it's the off season, I'm still talking about the Cowboys. But you still also have to look out for your fellow man. So I got an email, and this was a good one. Well, it's a sad one, but I mean, it's good in the sense of it's not somebody cussing me out or threatening me or, you know, saying I'm an idiot. Okay? This is from Travis Underwood. Let me see if I can get this a little bigger. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. Hi, Mark. I'm one of your subscribers and fellow Dallas Cowboys supporters. I'm coming to you today with a problem I'm facing with and hoping that you, E2 Blue, and your YouTube friends can help me with. It's kind of urgent. First, let me give you some background on myself. My name is Travis. I'm 38, and back in 1992, I had a rare stroke at the age of 12, which put me in a coma for a week. Damn. When I woke up, I couldn't move or speak. Through years of therapy and adaptation, I'm currently now living in my own place with about 90% of my daily tasks I do myself. The other stuff I have drop-in caregivers for. Getting back on track, sorry. Like I was saying, my problem is it's time for me to get a new wheelchair, which my insurance will buy, which is great. These days, insurance don't buy much. In fact, it's like, why do we have insurance again? But there's a few pieces that would be life-changing for me. Like a light for night so I don't get hit, which I've actually been hit before, so I was lucky those times. There's a seat elevator in there that would lift my whole seat up like 5 feet in the air so I could be able to reach into the cabinets and get stuff to eat or drink without having to wait for hours for a caregiver until a aide shifts. So I made a GoFundMe, but I have no speech, so it's really hard for me to promote it beyond my small group of Facebook friends. I was wondering if you guys please use your platform. It would be life-changing if you guys can help me reach my goal. Sincerely, Travis Underwood. Germetta, Washington, thank you very much. And so he has a GoFundMe. It's GoFundMe.com, wheelchair equipment. And that's right there. So after the show, Travis, I'm going to make a donation and stuff in there to try and help you out. And here's the thing. You know what? I always say that if each of us helps just one person in the world, if everybody helps just one person, you know what? Nobody in the world would need help. And that's where we need to look out for our fellow man. You know, if you got $5, or instead of going to Starbucks tomorrow morning and getting that cup of coffee, you can help change Travis's life. And that's how it should be, that everybody looks out after each other. I always try and live my life is, if I ever get to the top of the mountain, my job is to try and help pull the next man up. And I honestly believe that, and I try and do that every single day in my life. So, GoFundMe, GoFundMe.com / let me blow it up. I'll tell you what, let's do that. Okay. I'll put the link in the description. How about we'll do that? But if you can see this, hopefully you can see that. It's GoFundMe.com / wheelchair. That's it. So do that. Send me a link. I'll send it to you, Joseph, definitely. So look out for your fellow man. You know, there's people that need help. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. And I was going on this rant, but I'm going to tell you just real quickly. I learned something that no matter how bad things may seem for you, there are millions of people that wish that they only had your problems, that are in so much worse shape. I was burnt, my leg from the knee down. I had third-degree burns. I was skin grafted. I felt terrible. My leg was scarred. It was hideous until I was in the burn ward and going through where we had group work and stuff. And I saw this beautiful woman walked in, her face. Oh, it was incredible. But she was like Two-Face because she was in an explosion in her house when she was sleeping, and her face was on this side, so it was protected. This side was completely scarred. Another person, his name was Mark, burned 85% of his body. And I looked at myself, I said, you mean I'm only burned from the knee down? Shh, I'm the luckiest man in the world. So if you can help out my man Travis, you know, we're all Cowboys families, you know, so look out for each other. All right, so back to my rant. Let me actually acknowledge, because I've been going on and on and on here, people. You're probably about tired of listening to me. So let me acknowledge all of you great fans that are in the house tonight, because we are getting close. We are getting so close to training camp, and I want to acknowledge all you great fans. So I see Penny Locke, I see Richard Coleman, I see Big D, I see Michael Shane, Victor. You're always in here, man. You're like the plague. You're always spreading around and everything else. And I know you got that baby coming up soon. There's Miss Jackie. We know Miss Anita's in here. Thoughts and prayers for her. We know Joseph Etherly's here. Thank goodness he's back. We got Robbie Radford. We got the Sunshine Carter Show. We got Taylor Stewart. We got Art Alexander. I got, let's see, I'm something or other Ruse. We got David Blade. We got Michael Armstrong. We got Omar. I'm seeing a lot of new names. We got Kathy Green's back. How you doing? Brandon Singleton. We got Sven all the way in Germany. Oh, man, Sven's in Germany. You know, it's like 2 a.m. in the morning there. Tom Jasper, Kenneth Gatzner. Sorry, I'm screwing up names. Ed Lazzarino, Daryl Wilson, Michael Shane, Yergi, John, Jametta, L. Boy, it's a lot of E's in a row. Bradley, Stephanie, Robert, J-Mac, Mitch Peterson, Little Touchdown, Maurice Wood what? King Kemp, Letitia, how you doing, Letitia? Glad to see you in here tonight. Mike, Big D, Gerald Beasley, David Blaine, Art Alexander, Emily, how are you doing? Thank you, Emily. Thank you, and Miss Jackie for sending me all of the updates and stuff, keeping me in the loop and things. It's great to see that. Sean Jones, Bevy One Kembadi, what is that name? Where are you from? Bevy One Bevy One Kenobi. Ah, okay. I thought maybe it was an Indian name. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm getting a little crazy. John Jones, thank you very much for the super chat. All of you great fans, you just don't know the love that I feel. Answer some fans' questions. I try. Blade, Wesley Snipes, loved the movie. Wesley Snipes, man. Back in the day, he was the man. Answer some questions. Okay, let me try and answer some questions in here. We're going to have to trade Collins to sign Dak, Zeke, and Mario. No. Okay, little touchdown. Here's the thing. Let me pull up a chart here that'll actually help. What I want you to understand is, look at this. Let's switch cameras here. Hopefully you can see this. It might not because it's bright. Okay. When you see and you think about, because you're thinking about, oh my God, if we pay Dak Prescott $34 million a year, it's going to blow away our salary cap, right? You see Russell Wilson at $35 million, 107 guarantee. You see Ben Roethlisberger, $34 million. Oh my God. You see Aaron Rodgers at $33 million, right? You see Carson Wentz, 32. Now understand, this is the average of the compensation. Doesn't mean that's what he's getting paid every single year. Understand that. Because let's take a look at something else in here. Because if you actually go what the cap hit is for this year, look at the highest one up there. Matthew Stafford is the highest hit at $29.5 million. Followed by Kirk Cousins at $29 million. Andrew Luck, $27 third. Tom Brady, $27 million. Aaron Rodgers, $26. Now, what's amazing is Russell Wilson, who just signed the highest one in the NFL, He's 6th in this year's cap hit. Ben Roethlisberger is 7th. It's how you structure the deal. And just like DeMarcus Lawrence's deal, where they structured it so that way, yeah, he's the highest paid per year, but basically you got 3 years on that deal that you're only really committed to. And really, one of those years, by franchise tag, it was one of them. So you really only added 2 years of money that you really are basically gambling with. And the salary cap goes up every freaking year. And I want you to understand, when you think about Carson Wentz getting his deal done, understand that the Philadelphia Eagles, when they started off this offseason, were $25 million in the red. Let me say that again. They were $25 million in the red, where we had $50 million. It's a big difference. That's $75 million. But what they ended up doing was they restructured some deals. Now understand, we still have $19 million in room right now. If you go ahead and get Amari Cooper's deal done, because he's actually a $16 million hit right now, you could end up saving a little bit of money on this year's cap behind how you structure it. You could basically make his hit like $8 million this year, saving $8 million. If you decided, you know what, we need $10 million, you can get it tomorrow off of Zach Martin's contract, because they put triggers into that contract the same way they did with Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith, we restructured his contract 2 years. And understand that most people think, well, he's a team player because he restructured his contract. In your mind, what you're thinking is they gave money back, but that's not what they did. The contract is still the same. What they did is they just converted some of the money that wasn't guaranteed to guaranteed money. And once they do, you can divide that money up over the lifetime of the contract. So this whole thing of we can't sign everybody if we pay Dak is bullshit. It's bullshit. It's another one of those things that have bought you into the narrative of you can't pay Dak Prescott. If you can't pay Dak Prescott, then how could you pay all of these quarterbacks like Ben Roethlisberger, who needs some help because you just lost a great running back and a great wide receiver? That's how you can do that stuff. So it's a fallacy. And understand that we can structure the stuff where every year the contract, the money goes up about $10 million. And I'm going to tell you, understand where this thing is about, the salary cap's about to take a major leap for 2 reasons. 2 reasons, and I'm going to tell you, one is because there's going to be another player in watching games. YouTube or Netflix, somebody, one of these online providers is going to go in all in and make a deal with the NFL. Understand, if the NFL gets that 18-game season schedule, you're kicking that up. That salary cap is going to take a major jump, because now you get 2 more weeks of compensation that's going into the NFL's kitty. Understand that. That's what the NFL wants. The NFL wants to have 2 more games. You're adding probably 8 or 9% more money into the NFL's kitty. That money, that profit, goes part to the owners, just like each team got like $400 million, okay? Each team got like a check for $400 million for last year. So once you get these other providers, once you get that money, oh, and by the way, you also have casinos. You may see a $30 or $40 million jump in the salary cap. That's where it is. So, if you're a player, and we as fans, we look at that and we say, well, we can't pay all these people. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And as far as when you say, well, you know, Tom Brady takes a discount, understand, he's not taking that big of a discount, because when you look at Tom Brady, his hit is $27 million this year. They just restructured and kicked it down the road. But understand, New England is never in salary cap hell. They usually have 10, 15, 20, $30 million left over, because they don't value veterans. Their whole model is, we keep the quarterback, we get as many draft picks as possible, okay? You have a great scouting department. You can get young guys. You can play them for 4 years, and when they get ready to get paid, you can let them go. You can let them go, and I will get another pick in return. P.L. Stafford, thank you very much for the super chat. You were at one of my tailgates, maybe in Dallas? Oh, you want to be at one of my tailgates. Week 1, New York Giant game, we're going to be there. We'll probably be with Cowboys experience and probably be at Ed Too Tall Jones's tailgate. So, and Ed Too Tall, I got to tell you, Ed is
We have one of the baddest men on the planet here. Because, see, most of you guys don't realize, if you look up the stats, it says 57 sacks, but that was before they started counting. It's more like 106. There you go. So, Ed, you would be an honor if you signed another one of these jerseys. See, guys, that's going to be a giveaway for Mr. Ed Too Tall Jones. And if you guys want to meet Ed Too Tall Jones, definitely check out Cowboys Experience, because guess what? You can go to his tailgate. Okay, one question for you, Ed. We want to know, are you really too tall?
Yeah.
I'm Cowboy Joe Boo, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, so Ed Too Tall is definitely not too tall, but definitely check out Cowboys Experience, because we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff with them during the season and things. Yeah, Joseph, you forgot about the Super Chat voice. I'm ready for football. But one other thing, too, I want to bring out, too, because like I said, I feel like there's the whole, and it may be because the Cowboys are successful, but there's the whole thing where it seems like they are literally just out to get the Cowboys. So, as we watch TM Sleaze, this one takes the cake for me.
Solid. How's your boy Zeke doing? He's all right?
You know more than me.
I'm trying to, you might talk to him.
You know more than me. You know more than me. You do that for a living, bud.
I mean, is this EDC security right? By trying to repress these charges? You think he has a case?
Wasting your time.
Man, I'm just looking forward to seeing Zeke getting his eat on, man.
That's all you got to do. Me too.
He ever told you what's in that bowl?
Well, hello, friends. We're here. We're saving the greatest.
No? What's that y'all be eating on, man? It's that good stuff, huh? All right, Dad. Have a good one.
They literally, see, this is the kind of stuff that we're up against. And I kind of messed up because I think I've got the other clip on. Hold on. Hold up. I got too many toys here. Okay, sorry about that. I was ended up playing the wrong clip in there. But that's what we're up against. They literally are trying to bait him, Hey, what's up with Zeke, man? They're trying to catch him into saying something. Yo, man, okay, I just want to see him eat. What's he eating in that bowl, man? I bet that's the good stuff. When you say the good stuff, come on now. You know what you say, the good stuff. It's crap. They're getting a hit job taken at them. And this is where I feel really, really good, because I look at our team, and I actually want to get y'all's opinion on something, and I probably shouldn't show this yet. But I feel really good because I've got some great fans out there. And my question is to you guys, what do you think about this? We heard Rod Marnelli talking about his racing lizards. And my man, I'm having a brain fart. Good Lord. Brian from SoCal ended up doing this artwork. What do you think? Would you like to see that on a t-shirt? Yes? No? Thoughts? Give me your opinion on it. because I think it'll be bad as could be. The only thing I would say is we want to have his forked tongue kind of hanging out there a little bit. Other than that, I think, or maybe a little bit more muscle on the arms, so we get the. But I think it would be cool as could be. So Brian, I love it. Thank you very much for doing that. We're going to work on this and see about making that into a T-shirt. Somebody was asking about T-shirts, if where they can get some. I have it's Teespring, Cowboy Jobu store that has some stuff on there, and I'm working on some new designs for this year's, and we'll take a look at we'll start publicizing it once I get the new looks and stuff on there. But I think that should definitely be on there. Hell yes. Yeah, thank you, Kathy. Exactly. When they say, well, I bet he's got the good stuff in the bowl. Exactly. He's saying drugs. Why is he white? Why is who white? Jobu is black now. What difference does it make? I mean, his skin color is a little dark. I mean, he's darker than I am, and I'm black. Okay, but Billy, here's the thing. I get that. I get that. That Zeke is responsible for it. But also, too, understand, again, fair is fair. You can't treat, you have 5 kids, you can't treat one different than the rest of them. You need to treat them all equally. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Okay, if you're saying, if there's anything going on with domestic violence, this is the rules, which is what the NFL said. Everybody's got a 6-game suspension. Why is it he's the only one that's got a 6-game suspension? When you have other guys, Reuben Foster, Tariq Hill, and all these things and all that, okay? You can go down the list of a bunch of people. Mark was the first black Cowboy fan in the No, Bosh, actually not. If you actually knew your history about the DMV area, you would understand that there were a lot of black men back in the 60s, including my father, that was a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. Why? Because the NFL started integrating having black players in 1947. Okay? 1947, there were black players in the NFL. Yet, in the 60s, the Washington Redskins still refused to have a black player on their team. They had the whole southern market, which is the reason why they did not want the Dallas Cowboys to come and become a team. Because Preston Marshall loved owning the South. It was the good old boy team. But it ended up being that the Cowboys' future owner bought the rights to the Redskins fight song and held it hostage, would not let it go until he gave permission for the Dallas Cowboys to become a team. And understand that a lot of black men, including my father, said, you know what, I can't support the Washington Redskins. And that's why they became Dallas Cowboy fans. And as a little kid, sitting on the sofa, I can remember some of the first things in life, being a little teeny kid, watching, we had the big piece of furniture TV that's about this big, with the TV screen about this big. It was all wood cabinet, beautiful woodwork and stuff, and TV screens this big. And sitting there with my dad cheering on the Cowboys, and of course his cousins and my uncles and all that stuff over at the house watching football. And I wanted to be like my dad. So that's why I was rooting for the Cowboys. I can remember, believe it or not, I was only 4 years old when the Dallas Cowboys went to their first Super Bowl. And they lost to the Colts. And I remember how dejected my dad was. But I remember also, too, when we beat the Miami Dolphins. So, yeah, I've been an old-time Dallas Cowboy fan, my man Vosh, but not as long as my dad. Well, Charles Grant, here's the thing. Here's what's, what? The Dallas Cowboys offense, I think, is going to be better if for no other reason than it's changed. You know how usually football coaches only have about a 5-year shelf life? And sometimes you get a coach who is a disciplinarian, because you need somebody to kind of rein in because the team has just been like really, really bad. So you then end up having another coach who is, as they say, a player's coach. And he comes in and he brings in new life and stuff. The players feel better about things, And it's not necessarily that the system that he's doing is better. It's just a change. You're not doing the same old thing. And I feel like that's going to be the case with Kellen Moore. Because when you hear Zeke Elliott, tell Michael Irvin, hey, you know what? What I like about him is he listens to us too. He lets us have input as to what's going on. They feel like they are part of it together as opposed to having the boss. And we know about having the man, how we hate the man, and how we hate working for the man. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't talking about you, son, when I was working for you. But instead of, you always like to have that boss. That's a guy who's in there, working and shoveling and in there fighting with you. That's what I feel like we're getting with Kellen Moore. And the fact that there's no book out on what Kellen Moore is going to do is going to be a change-up. And I think part of the thing with Sean McVay was nobody necessarily knew what he was going to do. And he worked directly with Jared Goff and the offense and things. And he had a lot of good pieces. And he was a change from Jeff Fisher. So I believe that that's going to be a great dynamic. Now, we're into a little overtime here, so hope you guys don't mind. Long list, cousin. Not necessarily, Mark. We sucked under Wade Phillips. But see, you have ups and downs. And when you say Wade Phillips, understand that Jason Garrett was part of being under Wade Phillips. And I still kind of feel like he got sabotaged a little bit by Jason Garrett. But be that as it may. Jason, understand this. Jason Garrett's our coach right now. Jason Garrett is our guy. I'm going to throw all my support behind Jason Garrett, Kellen Moore, and everything else. I'll still criticize them when they mess up. I don't know if I'm going to do a fireside chat, man. It's been a busy day, Victor, and I gotta go to E2 Blue's house and go up and get into the attic because they got an air conditioning problem and fix that thing. So I'm trying to get over there early because it gets hot up in the attic, okay? I ain't trying to sweat off about 5 or 6 pounds. Do I think Frederick will be rusty? Actually, not really. Because here's the thing. Rusty would be you miss training camp and everything else. If he's able to practice fully, he's going to be fine. Because right now, nobody's in football shape. Understand, you can run all you want, you can lift weights all you want, but until you get out there and start hitting people and stuff like that, and full pads and the heat and stuff, you're not really in football shape. And so that means nobody is really in football shape. You believe that too, Kathy? Thank you. It has to be Jason Garrett's. And because here's the thing. How hot is it? Okay, if it's 95 outside, it's about 120 in an attic. You got to look at this team, and you have to at least give the front office of the Dallas Cowboys a hand. Honestly, I want you to understand what we did this offseason. Actually, what we have done since 2013. We got problems because we got to pay people. Why? Because we've been able to find some freaking great talent, okay? When you got guys that can play like these guys, other teams wish they had this problem of having to pay these guys, okay? We have not only been able to hold on to the talent that we've gotten, we've been able to go out and get some really great free agent parts. And not only get them and do like the Redskins did with Collins and have to keep him for, a 4-year deal or whatever. You got guys that are going to want to play lights out because they're on a 1-year deal. If they end up not playing well, okay, no problem. We just lost 1 year's salary. If they play great, you can decide to keep them and pay them a contract. If they don't, or if you figure it's going to be too much, that's okay because they can go and you'll get a compensatory pick back. But here's the thing, Kathy, though. Hold on, let's think about this, though. Yes, we have Jason Garrett. I get that. I understand that. But if you start thinking about, we got Chris Sharp, and we have the defensive line whisperer in Rod Marnelli. We've got a defense. I think that's look. I think we're going to be one of the top defenses in the NFL this year. That front seven, and I know everybody's worried about safety, but understand this. If you can stop other teams at the line of scrimmage, if you can get to the quarterback, your back end doesn't have to be as good. The Eagles proved that because their front seven was awesome when they ended up winning Super Bowls. You probably can't remember half of the guys that played in the secondary for the Giants. I mean, other than Jason Sehorn, because he was an anomaly. He was a white guy back there, and I'm not trying to be racial. Don't call me racist. I'm just saying you don't see too many white cornerbacks out there. I mean, look, let's keep it real. But Jason Sehorn was one of theirs when they were winning Super Bowls. It was because that front seven was incredible. And I look at this, DeMarcus Lawrence, DeMarcus Lawrence has got to be, in fact, all of the Dallas Cowboys should have a chip on their shoulder right now. They should be up in here saying, I am ready to roll and kill somebody. Okay, let me back that up. You understand what I mean, that they should be going lights out because they get so much damn disrespect. Nobody believes in them. Dak, you're a bus driver. DeMarcus Lawrence, you're just like Brandon Grimes. Zeke Elliott, man, you're an accident waiting to happen. Randy Gregory, you can't stay off the weed. The Cowboys, they're a bunch of thugs. Your coaching staff, Jason Garrett, you can't coach. You're underachievers. But that's where you have to in life. For me, I love it when somebody says, you can't do something. I love it when I get challenged. I love it when I see a project that everybody says it can't be done. Because that makes me work that much harder to prove you wrong. When I get in here and all these people tell me, you're too old for YouTube, you suck. You can't get the volume right on here. You don't know how to use a computer. You'll never make it. That means every day I am working to go ahead and try and prove this wrong. When all these people tell me my quarterback sucks, you're stupid, and everything else. I was using David Bind. I was using that as one of the things that's saying that you're an accident waiting to happen in the same way they use all these other things. Okay, so understand. Oh, don't worry, Victor. We're getting ready to get out of here, man. We're getting ready to get out of here because we actually have been in overtime for a little bit here. But there's been so many people in here, and I've been fired up. Okay, because I'm fired up. One, from seeing my football guys, that was an incredible event. All the fans that were out there was incredible. Hanging out with E2 Blue and Michael Anthony Fitness and things, and seeing the players, it was great. I agree, Mark. That's why I want them to pay Dak, and because they're going to be on it. Well, it really, in words of Vosh Lombardi, it really doesn't matter if they pay him or not because it'll still be, now they're going to say, oh, well, he's a $35 million quarterback, and look at that play. He missed the pass. Well, Derek Savage, you have to understand the Cowboys' philosophy. When our defense was so bad, how bad was our defense? The idea was if we take time off the clock and keep the defense off the field, it's going to make it better for them. Kenobi, I think 11-5. Oh, okay, David. Come on, David. David, are you okay, I got it. I hope Jobu is not in Mark's head. Okay, I missed the rest of that one. I'm sorry, the comments are going by fast. It's hard to catch up, to keep up with them. Thank you very much, Brian. I'm glad you enjoy the show. But like all things, it's getting kind of late, man. And there's other people out there that want to use up the YouTube space, so I don't want to take up too much time. 10 wins, over or under? I say over. 14-2, let's be realistic. I say 11-5. We have a tough schedule, first place schedule and things. And, oh, no, I have not. Okay, Ada, what I'm going to do with the, because I actually have two now. The Jobu autograph, Ed Too Tall one. I'm going to give that one away. I'll have details on that on Friday's show. How about that? That's where we'll go there. 12-4. It's possible, but you know what? It's going to be tough because people are going to be gunning for the Cowboys. But I also think that the Cowboys are going to be a much better team. Woo! Jose throwing the heat. Oh, we got more haters in the house. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate it. We do have a tough schedule, but you know what? We're also a good team. So, understand, all you got to do is get to the dance. You got to get to the playoffs and then prove that you can stay in there. So, guys, girls, kids, adults, everybody from, I know we had Germany in the house. I don't know where else everybody else was from, but I appreciate everybody coming in here, being part of the show. And thank you very much for the Super Chats. And don't forget, Travis Underwood. Be sure to definitely look out for him. If you can spare a few dollars to help him out with his wheelchair, you can actually help to change his life. So as always, friends, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. But right now, it's time to turn out the lights because this party's over.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.